Greetings from Bulgaria. Happy New Year. It's time for a new course. In our new course of Lambda test, we're going to talk about Selenium 4. Let me share my screen. And in this Selenium 4 course, we're going to discuss how you're going to upgrade. We're going to discuss many of the new features. But first, who am I? I'm Anton Angelov, CTO and author and expert on Selenium. Maybe you know me from my blog Automated Planet or from some of my books about design patterns in automated testing. You can watch already on the Lambda Test channel some of our courses about JUnit, XUnit, NUnit that we go really in depth for more than 4 hours each. And I'm really glad to help you learn everything about Selenium 4. Let's discuss our course. It will be around 10 different videos or course modules. First, we are going to discuss how to upgrade from Selenium 3 to Selenium 4. This will be the current module. Then we're going to discuss the new relative locators in Selenium 4. By the way, there is a really awesome video already on the Lambda Test channel discussing the various Selenium 4 features. So you will find it below in the description, but you can watch it first. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, of course, because you will find, especially if you click the link, you will be notified about the new awesome videos that are getting published each week. So yeah, in the next video, we're going to talk about relative locators, the new strategy of locating elements. Then we're going to discuss this new feature about easier way of handling basic authentication in Selenium 4. Then in the next module, we are going to discuss the new Selenium IDE next generation, that it's not only running as an extension for Firefox, but actually it's completely rewritten and it's available on various browsers and has many new capabilities. And together we are going to discuss the new rewritten Selenium Grid that can help you to run your tests distributed. Then the next few modules from the course will be dedicated to various capabilities of the Chrome DevTools protocol, and together with the so-called bidirectional protocol. In Selenium, Selenium guys are working with browser vendors to create WebdriverBuilder bidirectional protocol. Because it will provide a stable cross-browser API that uses bidirectional functionality useful for both browser automation generally and testing specifically. And right now, mainly this is implemented in the Chrome DevTools protocol, but this protocol, it's coupled only with, it's working only on Chromium, and it's coupled a little bit with the browser versions. However, until the spec is complete, there are many useful things that this Chrome DevTools protocol can provide us, and we are going to discuss them in this course. So first, we are going to review how you can use these new protocols to do geolocation testing. Then in the 6th module, we are going to discuss the responsiveness testing, changing device mode, user agents, the size. Also, in all of these videos, we are going to review as well how you can not only locally use these features, but also how you can use them in continuous integration using and running them in the cloud platforms, such as Lambda Test. We are going to review how this works because the platform already supports Selenium 4. Also, in the 7th video, we are going to discuss troubleshooting techniques, inspecting and observe elements in the DOM, accessing the console logs, and many others. Also, we are going to talk about the new capability of this bidirectional protocol and from DevTools, how to capture, monitor network traffic. Maybe I will show you some advanced design patterns such as black hole design pattern to optimize and run your tests faster. And the next thing, we are going to talk about performance related metrics, how you can access them and display them. Also, probably I'm going to show you how basically you can test the performance of your website using various techniques, using the protocols such as setting the latency for the connection, altering the upload and download throughput, testing offline apps, and many more. And the last video will be about network emulation. And as I said, we're going to discuss the many awesome features that the Lambda test platform brings us, especially about responsiveness testing and the many other types of testing. So in this video, as I said, we are going to talk about how to upgrade to Selenium 4. There are 8 different things that I'm going to mention. The first thing that we are going to cover is how to basically convert from capabilities to options. Then we're going to show you just a small code snippet how you can upgrade your dependencies. Then I'm going to show you an easier way how you can basically initialize the remote WebDriver for connecting to the cloud. There are a few changes to the actions class that you should be aware of because maybe some deprecation messages can occur. The same is related to some updates about setting the timeouts for configuring WebDriver. Some methods have been removed from the API that you should be aware of. We're going to discuss the difference between HTML attributes and properties because Selenium API, the guys added a few new methods working with these attributes and properties. And lastly, we're going to discuss some potential errors in deprecation messages. So let's begin. First, upgrading dependencies. This is part of the Maven XML file. Basically, this is the way in Maven how we can mention basically which dependency and which version are going to be downloaded from their online repository. Right now, this was the previous version 3.1. The only thing that you need to update is to change the version here to 4.0 or newer version if there is one. Then the second thing, converting capabilities to options. This is really important because some of the old APIs have been deprecated. This was before we used these desired capabilities to set many configurations about the remote WebDriver. And in the test, capabilities are basically not structured to be W3C compliant. As you know, the new version of Selenium are now W3C compliant. Basically, the browser vendors are responsible for developing the drivers. And this is why, because these capabilities are not structured and not compliant, they may cause a session not to be started. And some standard capabilities are browser name, browser version, platform name, proxy, timeouts, and many more. You can find the full list on the W3C WebDriver website. And any capability that is not contained in this list needs to be included in vendor-specific prefix. This applies to browser-specific capabilities as well as cloud vendor-specific capabilities. For example, if your cloud vendor uses build name capabilities for your tests, you need to wrap them in as here cloud2.options block. For example, this is the approach for Lambda tests. You put everything in hash map of string object, Here we have this Lambda test specific capabilities such as user, access key, build, name, platform, whatever. And then we provide this prefix LT two dots options. And then we put here the hash map. Also, a key difference between the two approaches before was that before we used this class desired capabilities, and we initialize it from this method here, Firefox or Chrome. And now we need to use the new options classes, Firefox options, Chrome options. We have separate options classes based on the browser. That's a really key difference. And they have for the compliant capabilities, we have getters like platform name, browser version, right? And an alternative way to start your session in Java is with the remote WebdriverBuilder. This class has a few advantages for cloud users or for Lambda test users, including automatic driver augmentation and the ability to set HTTP client settings like read timeouts. And as you can see, it uses this Fluent API to set the options. It's similar to the actions class that in a minute we will review. It's up to you which approach you will use. And in the next course modules, we are going to talk more about augmentation. Now, as I said, there are a few changes to the actions class, so let's review them. Actions class in Selenium provides many methods for performing a single or series of actions on the web elements present in the DOM, like mouse actions, click, double click, context click, keyboard actions, key up, key down, send keys. Basically, these are two different types. And this was the API before. For example, if you want to do a double click, we had to first move to a particular element, then double click, and yeah, you need to chain them like this. As I said, actions API use it Fluent, meaning chaining methods. This is why another way of designing your library instead of having multi-calls. And the new way is that basically in Selenium 4, several new methods have been added to the actions class. As you can see now, we have these overloads for the click, double click, context click, where we pass the element to be clicked. And we no more need to add this move to element, which makes the code more concise. And also, this method here, using for releasing pressed mouse button, was initially part of interactions button release action class. And now with the updated version of Selenium, it has been moved to the actions class. Now, as I said, there are a few updates regarding the setting of the timeouts. And probably you will get some deprecation messages, so you need to be careful about this. The parameters received in the timeout have been switched from expecting wonk and this time unit to expect duration. This is how it was changed. Before we had two parameters, now we need to use the duration class part of Java and use these factory methods to initialize the duration. Also, weights are also expecting different parameters now. WebDriver is now expecting duration instead of wonk for timeout in seconds and milliseconds. This is how it was changed now. So the with timeout and polling every utility methods from the Fluent wait have switched from expecting wonk and time unit to expect duration. The sixth change is that some utility methods have been removed. These utility methods to find elements in the Java bindings have been removed as they were meant for internal use only. So you should use the standard approach using the by class. it is what it is. Now, let's discuss first what is the difference between attributes and properties. Here, I have added an example HTML, where so the attribute is a static attribute of a given DOM node, whereas basically the property is a computed property of the DOM node object. An example of a property would be here the checked state, right, of the checkbox, or the value of an input field. Whereas attribute would be, for example, the href, because it's something static that it's not changed, right? Or the type of the input. This is an attribute. So there is a slight change, right? They're almost the same thing, but not exactly. So before we had a single method called getAttribute for both of them. Right now in the Selenium 4, we have two new methods, getDOMAttribute and getDOMProperty. Most of the time, these two methods return the same thing, especially in Java, where getDOMProperty is returned as a string value. And note that this getAttribute is still available for backwards compatibility, but it's implementing by sending a large blob of JavaScript to the remote endpoint. And where is possible, it's recommended to use one of the new methods for performance and precision. And lastly, let's discuss some potential errors and deprecation messages. We already discussed two of them regarding the removal of the find utility methods and the fluent wait and timeout getters. There are three more things to be careful. First is merging capabilities is no longer changing the calling object. It was possible to merge a different set of capabilities into another set, and it was mutating the calling object. This was before. And now the result of the merge operation needs to be assigned. So this is like a really slight change, but you need to be careful. Firefox legacy. Before Ğɪᴜᴇᴏ Driver was around, the Selenium project had a driver implementation to automate Firefox, like maybe less than version 50. However, this implementation is not needed anymore, as it does not work in the recent versions of Firefox. To avoid major issues when upgrading to Selenium 4, this set legacy option will be shown as deprecated, and you should be aware of. The recommendation is to stop using the old implementation and rely only on Ğɪᴜᴇᴏ Driver. And as I said, the following code will show the set legacy line deprecated after upgrading. And the last change, the browser type interface here has been around for a long time. However, it is getting deprecated in favor of the new browser interface. In the next module of the course, we are going to talk about relative locators, a new handy way of locating elements. I'm really excited about this video, so stay tuned and hit the subscribe button and the ring button to get notified about it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments, put them below. You will find many links about articles and everything inside the description, so check it. Also, don't forget, you can reach me anytime on LinkedIn. You can check the Lambda test blog, because there are many articles regarding Selenium 4 and many others that are really detailed, and it's a really awesome blog. And don't forget to get your Selenium certification. Stay healthy and see you soon.